Hello everyone, this is Michaela Graham and I'm here to talk about the new Blade 360 CFX. As you can see, the helicopter is already out, so this is not going to be an unboxing video. I'm sure there are many others out there already. I just received this helicopter a few days ago and I just want to talk about a few things about it. So when I first received the helicopter, the first thing I noticed when I picked it up out of the box was just how light it was. As some of you may know, I was the project lead for the Blade 450X, and I really took pride in that helicopter because I was very proud of the fact that for a 450, it was extremely light, probably the lightest 450 available at the time. Um, as many of you may know, flying multiple 450s, you'll find that many of them have a very high disc loading that makes them feel heavy in the air. And the 450X kind of alleviated that a little bit. Now, we have here the new 360 CFX. This thing takes the cake, completely blows the 450X out of the water without question. Um, I've only gotten a couple of flights on it. I'll talk about the flights a little bit later, but I will make one point. The first thing I noticed in the air was just how light this helicopter is. The disc loading is very, very light. It feels like a much larger helicopter, like a 90 size, more like a 90 size nitro. Not a 90 size electric, but a nitro. It's very lightweight. It's very quick, it's very agile. The weight really lends to the agility of this machine. As you can see, I am using a Thunder Power 6S 1300 pack using the Magna series. I would have used the E-Flight packs, but they were sold out, so I wanted to fly, and so that's what I got. So, now, aside from how light the helicopter is, there are a couple of things that I do want to address. When I first received the helicopter, the control horn for the tail servo was not centered properly. Um, yes, this is a bind and fly model. Yes, it is test flown at the factory. However, the test flying that the factory does is really a basic hover and make sure everything works. It's not an all-out 3D performance flight. So for the testing that is done, the rudder servo being off center, just hovering, you would have never known. It wouldn't have been an issue. Honestly, no big deal. This is why whenever you get a new helicopter, bind and fly, ready to fly, bind and fly basic, a kit, it doesn't matter. You buy it used, you buy it new. Always, always, always go over the setup of the helicopter. No exception to this rule. Always go over the setup of a helicopter. If you're flying someone else's, always go over the setup. I'm not going to go into detail about how to straighten out the control horn. If you need to know how to do that, refer to my older videos that I did for the Blade 450X. Once I got that straightened out, like I said, I went through the entire setup of the helicopter. The blade pitch was really high. I didn't measure what it was, and it looked to be a little bit uneven. So, need to address that as well. Now, I have a little confession to make. When it comes to smaller helicopters, I am not the most meticulous when it comes to setup. I am from the eyeball school of thought. It's close enough, good enough, we'll figure it out later type thing. For my larger helicopters, I'm very meticulous, but for the small helicopters, I really eyeball a lot of things. So, I went through the setup. The servos, the cyclic servos were actually spot on. I actually didn't need to do anything for that. The geometry, I don't know what was set, but what I did was I reset that to where the light would turn blue, and then I would give it just a little bit more. And then finally, for the pitch, again, like I said, I eyeballed it, tried to get even up and down, and left it at that. What I tend to do for my smaller helicopters is that I'll fly them as is with, perhaps slightly uneven pitch, and I'll adjust accordingly. If I need a little bit more positive pitch, I'll land, I'll add more. Need a a little bit less, reduce it, whatever. It takes seconds once you know how to set up the 7200X, 7200BX, excuse me. The other issue, minor issue that I noticed is that the blades were out of track out of the box. Again, minor issue, quick adjustments, and we were good to go. So that said, just some minor things. Like I said, yes, it's a bind and fly basic. Yes, it is test flown. Yes, it should be perfect out the box. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it slips through. Horizon does do its best to ensure that this happens, but sometimes it just doesn't. So just to be on the safe side, always go over your setup of the machine, just to be on the safe side. Now, to the flying. I've only have about 2 flights on this helicopter, 2 real flights. First flight was just kind of filling it out and adjusting things. I'm still adjusting things. It's not exactly to my liking, but I'm pretty much flying it as stock. Like I said earlier in this video, the helicopter is extremely light. I absolutely love this. This is truly what personally I have been wanting and tried to achieve with the 450X for a long time. I mean, physics just isn't going to let that happen. But this helicopter achieves what I've always wanted, which is basically a small helicopter that truly, I can't stress this enough, truly feels like a larger helicopter. I can honestly say this helicopter does fly like a large machine. Because of the disc loading. If you match the rates, if you match your roll and flip rates of that of your larger helicopters, on a calm day, no wind, you'll feel right at home. It is really a nice feeling helicopter. I'm very comfortable with it. With just a few flights on it, it feels like my larger 90s, and it really feels nice. It really feels under control. It feels bigger than what it actually is. Whereas even with the 450X, you kind of have to be on top of it because the disc loading and the weight would carry, and you have to manage that. This, because it's so light and because of the power, it stops on a dime. You tell it to stop, it stops. There's no continue a little bit, wait for the air to catch. No, you tell it to stop, it stops. The power is incredible. This thing is a rocket and it's fast. But the beautiful thing is, and this is what I like about this machine and larger machines versus smaller machines, is that it picks up speed very nicely when you add power. But when you back off the power, smaller helicopters will continue. Even though you've reduced the power, their momentum carries them and the speed just keeps on going. Whereas this, as you reduce the power, as you reduce the pitch, everything slows down as you would expect, as you would want, as it would with a larger, lightweight helicopter. It's very nimble. You can flick it, just like you would on a very high-powered machine. It feels very agile. It's very quick, but most importantly, it's manageable. Like I said, when you tell it to stop, it stops. When you tell it to go, it goes. Very much under control. Like I said, I really enjoy it. It feels really good in the air. I'm trying to stress that, at least for me, this has been my dream helicopter as far as in this size. I am very happy with it. I will get some 3D videos of it. Just a disclaimer, I am not your 3D pro. That's why you guys haven't seen me fly. But I will get some video and I'll try to put it through its paces to the best of my ability to show what it can do. As some of you may know, I tend to like my helicopters to be hot on the cyclic. I tend to like them to be very quick off center. When I adjust this helicopter to the way I want, this will be no different. But I'm going to fly it stock just to show you guys what it can do. So be on the lookout for more videos, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And also a special thanks to Horizon Hobby and Steve Petrato and Missy for getting me the machine. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks.